it's unfortunate that studios have to play it safe and not focus on the art anymore and storytelling because the audience just want the same stuff. Dwayne Johnson playing the role, the smashing machine, why its failure is bad for cinema. Oh, this is bad. Let's go.
For years, Dwayne Johnson has been Hollywood's safest star. Family-friendly, brand-conscious, bulletproof. He spent decades crafting himself into a global brand, one of the most recognizable faces on the planet. His Instagram following alone is close to 400 million. But for all that success, he's rarely stepped out of his comfort zone until now. With The Smashing Machine, Johnson broke type. He made the most honest, painful, and vulnerable movie of his career, and it bombed. Dwayne Johnson took on the role of Mark Kerr in The Smashing Machine, a far cry from the blockbuster action movies that made him famous. This time he teamed up with Studio A24, a company known for taking creative risks and championing unique auteur-driven films. For Johnson, this project seemed like the start of a new chapter, a bid to be taken seriously as an actor, not just a movie star. It's been said that he wanted this to be his Raging Bull or The Wrestler, and while there's been plenty of praise for his performance, the overall reception to the film has been mixed, good, but not groundbreaking. Reports suggest the budget was around $50 million, far smaller than the tentpole blockbusters Johnson usually headlines.
And that makes sense for a risky movie that he's filming, right? It's not something that he normally does, so why go to a huge budget where you don't have to?
He supposedly took a huge pay cut, dropping from his usual $20 million salary to just $4 million. Some reports even claimed he donated a portion of that to Mark Kerr himself.
And you want to know why? Because he understands he's trying to progress his career. So he understands taking a pay cut to try to do a budget film that's going to allow him to kind of change the narrative of just being stuck to like not taking him serious, family friendly, jokingly, non-serious, type roles to where he's more serious.
And helped raise Emily Blunt's pay. Even if those stories aren't entirely true, what is true is that Johnson sacrificed money and comfort to take on something raw and personal, and that matters. A24's whole mission is to champion artistic and original independent films by providing filmmakers with creative freedom. By choosing them, Johnson deliberately walked away from the safety of studio formulas and massive paydays. He wanted to take a risk, and I find that incredibly admirable.
Yeah.
But The Smashing Machine underperformed badly. Its opening weekend in the US was just $6 million, and its worldwide gross is sitting around $19 million, the lowest box office total of Johnson's entire career. That's shocking when you consider his reach and popularity. Sure, the subject matter isn't exactly crowd-pleasing, but with a star that big, you'd expect more people to show up, even out of curiosity. Despite the commercial failure and mixed reviews, Johnson's performance stands out as easily the best of his career. Even Christopher Nolan praised it, saying, "I think it's an incredible performance. I don't think you'll see a better performance this year or most other years."
Oh, wow.
Nolan also said he believes the film will be better understood with time, and honestly, I agree.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the type of film that over time, as you put it on streaming platforms, people are able to have some time to like watch into his discography. They're like, oh, this is low-key a banger, right? I think this film that he done was a passionate type of project that he wanted to take serious, and that means something to him. And it shows within his acting that they're talking about. And so, yeah, I think that he's going to get the flowers for this movie over time.
Art isn't always profitable, and filmmaking, even at the Hollywood level, always carries risk. Over the past few decades, we've seen the movie star decline, replaced by the dominance of intellectual property and sequels. Studios want brands, not actors. So maybe the audience didn't show up because they didn't want to see Dwayne Johnson cry. They wanted to see The Rock. That's the tragedy of the Smashing Machine. It proved that when a megastar dares to be vulnerable, the system doesn't reward him for it. Studios will look at this film and conclude that risks don't pay off. They'll keep feeding audiences what's familiar: Jumanji, Fast
Damn.
and Furious, Moana. And Johnson himself might pull back too, retreating into safe, crowd-pleasing blockbusters. Sure, he'll occasionally dip into something more artistic, but that flame of risk might fade a little. He's reportedly working with Martin Scorsese on a Hawaiian crime drama alongside Leonardo DiCaprio and Emily Blunt, which sounds promising, but he's also doing the live-action Moana, which is also guaranteed to succeed.
I don't think he's actually slowing down on serious roles. I think he's actually really understanding that the money that he could also really passionate and just evolving his career in general. He's always been the type of guy who's find ways to evolve. He started out with I think with jokes or something like that, but for sure with wrestling, and then he went from wrestling into movies, action movies, and things like that. And now he's pivoting again. He's always finding ways to rebrand himself in some aspect. Yes, it still has always been The Rock Johnson, the roles he plays, but I think that he really do wants to start venturing out and into like other acting roles than just what the roles he was playing.
The divide between art and entertainment keeps widening. When films like The Smashing Machine fail, studios lose incentive to fund original storytelling.
That is true.
In 2024, 9 out of 10 of the highest grossing films were sequels or prequels. The only exception was Wicked, and even that's based on an existing IP of The Wizard of Oz. We're living in a time when taking creative risks is a financial gamble few are willing to make. Maybe The Smashing Machine will find a second life, the way Fight Club or Blade Runner did. Even The Shawshank Redemption flopped when it was released, and it has now become one of the most beloved films ever made. But right now, it feels like a warning. When the system punishes sincerity, cinema itself takes a hit. Johnson has so much more to give as a performer, and this film proves it. But if he can't make a smaller, grittier film work despite his global following, who can? Studios will take this as a sign to keep playing it safe, and that means more reboots, more
Oh
sequels,
God,
and fewer genuine
please don't do that.
risks. Had The Smashing Machine performed a bit better, it might have changed how studios view artistic ambition. It didn't, but at least Dwayne Johnson proved he's capable of something deeper, and that, at least, still gives me hope. Did you see The Smashing Machine? Do you think Dwayne Johnson deserves an Oscar nomination for this?
I'm be honest with you, have not seen it yet. I've been so busy recording and working and stuff like that. But I think that like sportsman's wise, I would rather him instead of doing a sports like film that's dedicated, which like I said, it matters to him at most. But I would like to see him do other movies that are serious, right? Sports is like okay, I see it makes sense, a smooth transition, and then going to something else. But yeah, I mean it's unfortunate that studios have to play it safe and not focus on the art anymore and storytelling because the audience just want the same stuff. And it's like we complain, but then when they give us something different, we don't actually go and support it and check it out. So yeah, anyways, tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Give it a like and a thumbs up, and see you on the next one. Peace.